Hello, everybody. Welcome, and hello. It's Twanna Carter, your anxiety and career coach. And it is a Friday night for me. I know for some of you, it is a Saturday morning or maybe even a Saturday afternoon, depending on where you are, or if you're on the West Coast of the United States, you're just maybe getting off. It's about 5:30 there. So it is just an easy Friday night. I know Lana Richie and the Commodore are saying easy like Sunday morning. Well, today I'm gonna be easy like Friday night. It's just an easy Friday night and looking forward to chatting with everybody. I want to give everybody a few minutes to jump on board. I like to say welcome and thank you for being here on time. And I managed to jump in here on time too. I'm pretty excited about that. So I actually have a YouTube going at the same time as a Facebook Live. So welcome to one and all. I do want to give people just a few minutes to jump on board. You know how it is. Sometimes your internet is slow, which reminds me, I forgot to switch over to my hotspot. Sometimes my internet gets kind of janky and it kind of slows down and stutters, and then I look like an alien and you can barely hear me talking. But hopefully it will be better today. We got a new router, so maybe that will be a little better today. So we shall surely see. And so tonight, get your questions ready. If you want to ask a question and you want me to answer it live, you have to go to my Facebook page for my business page, Twanna Carter Personal and Professional Coaching. You've got to drop the question there. Otherwise, I will answer your question if you put it anywhere else, of course. But it probably will be after the show. Now, I am running a couple of screens, and so I might be able, you'll see me look down at my screens, and I might be able to jump over to see who is asking questions. So we'll see how that goes. I'm truly trying to multitask and do a lot of things at once. And so we'll see how it goes. It is a learning experience, and because it's a big deal for me as someone who struggled with social anxiety for a really long time. I don't freak out now if I make a mistake, and I realize that Facebook posts go where they are, and people look where they want, and YouTube people will see certainly many hours and days after I get done. But one of the things that I can say is, I have a Facebook group for ladies, and it's called Rising Above Anxiety. And the reason why I came up with that name, Rising Above Anxiety, because at the end of the day, we don't need to cross out anxiety and get rid of it completely, because it's a survival tool for us, right? So we don't want to get rid of it completely. And that's kind of like if you have as your goal to like just eradicate all anxiety, pretty much a losing battle. You know, I'm a coach, anxiety and career coach. And so when I meet with my clients, I want to set them up for inevitable success. Okay. And that's what I do when we sit down and the client tells them what they're looking for. And, we lay out the goals, and the client lays out the goals, and I go over with the client, and I talk to the client and say, we want inevitable success. And if you choose this goal, that's not going to set you up for success. It's going to set you up for failure. So if your goal is to eradicate all anxiety, that's a setup for failure. Okay? Because we do need some anxiety. We do need it for survival, right? So we're not going to eradicate anxiety, but we certainly can rise above anxiety. And what do I mean by that? We can get to a point where we're pretty much managing the anxiety rather than letting it manage us, right? And so that's important to know, because we don't want goals where you're setting up for failure. What would be the point? Why coach someone and then let them set up a bunch of goals where they're going to fail? Because you're never going to eradicate anxiety. And so I do have people that will say that, yeah, I want to get rid of anxiety, period. we can lower the anxiety, we can rise above the anxiety, but to get rid of it, period, that's a setup for failure. So no, we want to get it where we can manage it rather than letting the anxiety ruin or run our life, right? That's what the most important thing is, and that's what I do for clients. So I never, I'm just not going to coach a client where they're demanding that my goal is to eradicate anxiety. I'm not going to coach that client because I understand it's a failure. That's a setup for failure. And my goal is to set people up for success. Okay. So let me look out for a minute and you'll see me pop down because I'm going across several social medias to be sure that I am, if someone drops in a question, and please feel free if you have an anxiety question, something you've wondered about, a technique you've wondered about, or as I go along, you want to ask me questions, that is absolutely fine. And let me find one more. I'm going to pop another screen up. I know you can't see it, but I do like to try to catch questions as they come in. So I want to hop over to yet another screen, right? To be sure that I see people or try to see people as they ask questions. Okay. So as you pop on, whether you're popping on YouTube or whether you're popping on Facebook, my business page, or my Rising Above Anxiety group, or on my personal page, if you've got a question, ask away. If you're not really sure you want to ask a question right now, just give me a thumbs up and then just put your city where you're coming from. Okay. So we can kind of know where people are. And I'm going to pop back to this one. I'm going to stay on my business page and that's where the questions will pop up. And so hopefully today I can see them. Sometimes I can't. So what I wanted to talk about is I know that when people come to coaching, oftentimes they want just a bona fide way, a bona fide way. How can I handle the anxiety? At this point, it is ruining my relationship. I have a wonderful marriage, or, I have this wonderful significant other. We've been together 2, 3, 5 years or 10 years or whatever. And I can see in his eyes, or I can see in her eyes, that the anxiety is causing trouble in the relationship, but I can't help myself. I don't know what to do. For others of you, if you have anxiety and you've landed a really great job, you enjoy it, but you can see that the anxiety is causing problems because, yeah, if you're like calling in sick every Monday, after a month of Mondays, I know I pick those things up in people, and I've seen people do it. I'm laughing because I've actually seen people who call in every Monday, or they'll call out every Friday, or they're sick a certain day of the week, depending on if there's a presentation, if they're giving a training. I know people that, they faint when they have to give a presentation or it's their turn to give a training. And so, yeah, and I know people that take weeks off at a time because they can't manage anxiety. The anxiety is ruling them. It's running their lives or it's ruining their lives. And so when I get people to come in with me for a complimentary coaching session, and I give complimentary coaching sessions, I feel everybody needs an hour, and some of the people that, I think my internet blinked. Let's hope that it keeps up. So those of you on YouTube, it won't be a problem. Those of you on Facebook, hopefully it will blink in and blink out. So I do give complimentary coaching sessions. I believe everybody needs one. And that's just where, you come to me and we sit down and we talk about a plan. What are you going through? What are your hopes, your goals, your aspirations? And then what's in the gap? There's a gap between what you want, what you have, and where you want to go. What is that gap? And if it is anxiety, we talk about some plans and some strategies that can get you across that gap to get you where you want to be. Okay. And I think everybody needs that. And the reason why I do, and I know that some people do charge for that first session. The reason why I don't charge for my first session is because in my mid to late 20s, I made a lot of bad decisions. I made a lot of bad calls when it comes to my career. I made some really, really bad calls, like really bad calls. Some calls that over the stretch of my career have cost me well over $700,000 in some stocks and bond options. Yeah, when I say a really bad call, no, I mean I made a really bad call. And I look back, and had I had a coach, Had I found a coach, a career coach, and an anxiety coach at the, you don't see many people that do both anxiety and career coaches. The reason why I do it was because I needed an anxiety coach and I needed a career coach. Had I spoken to either one, I would have made better calls to some of the companies that were recruiting me and that were like, hey, we'll give you stock options, we'll give you your car, we will do this, we'll do that. They just wanted me to work for them, but because of my anxiety, I just made some bad career choices. I had that fork in the road where I could go this way, which should have been great, or that way, which should have been not so great. I took the not so great route every time, every single time, and I did that for almost 15 years, or very close, somewhere between 10 and 15 years. I took the not so great route. Um, I can say now that I've realized I have social anxiety and I've been able to, implement strategies to help me to deal with the social anxiety, that I am much better. Now I make great career choices. And so while I don't regret, I can definitely say I do probably miss that 700 to $1 million in monies that I lost. However, it brought me to this space where I now get to reach out to other people and help them to make that right choice, to make the correct choice, to help them leap to their next best level. Because sometimes we just need a little bit of help. And had I gotten that little bit of help, I would have gotten where I am a lot faster. It wouldn't have taken me almost 20 years to get here. I would have gotten there in probably 3 to 4. And when you're talking 15 years taking the not so great route, stumbling and picking myself back up and going in holes and digging myself out, you're talking 15 years or so going on the wrong route. When with a coach, with an anxiety coach and a career coach, I could have been on the correct route in 3 to 4 years. That's a lot of time saved. Okay, that's a lot of time saved and a lot of money saved. Time saved and money saved. So when I say that, I do regret not being able to save that money. That money would have been up for my kids' legacy. I mean, that's how I look at it. But in the meantime, those experiences have helped me to figure out that I am a great anxiety and career coach. And sometimes people need that. I've had a number of people that talked to me and said, I'm so glad that you realize you did the anxiety with the career, because I have both. I have both. But the anxiety is causing me issues in my career. I want to move forward. I've had people tell me, my anxiety is making me too afraid to apply for a manager's position. I have other people that say, I've been stuck at this job 7, 8, 10, 15 years, but my anxiety keeps me stuck. I'm afraid to move out. I'm afraid to move up. And I'm just afraid. I worry, I get anxiety, I have anxiety attacks, and so I stay here. I know I can do better. I know I can make more money. I know that this is not my passion, that I'm working, but I'm too afraid to get on the route to my passion. And I got to tell you, I get so sad when I hear that, because you should work your passion. Everybody should get that wonderful feeling that comes with knowing you're working your passion. I came to mine late. I didn't find it in my 20s. Darn near didn't find it in my 30s. I was almost out of my 30s before I got an inkling of what my passion was. And I got to tell you, it is a great thing. Okay. And so what I found out, and let me do some checks over here. Okay. Again, my Facebook blinked. And like I said, I know YouTube, you guys are not having those problems. Let me check over and see if I have any comments. I just want to be sure. I am not on my personal page. So if you do have a question, pop over to my business page and ask. For those of you that are in my support group, my free anxiety support group, Rising Above Anxiety, you can ask your questions. No one else outside the group will see that, because no one else can. You have to be a member of the group to see the questions. And so what I do is I'm popping over every few minutes to see if people are asking questions. So what I said tonight was we would talk about, because I have people that come and it's like, I just want to, right in the midst of My Facebook Live, I keep forgetting to turn off my I have reminders to remind me of things because I have a lot of appointments and people to see and a lot of people to call, and I just put them all on my calendar to make appointments. And I dare say, yeah, about 8:45 I've got probably got about 3 or 4 more of those is gonna pop up. What can you do? I made a oopsie and a boo boo. I didn't turn those off, so you'll see me reaching up at the camera, and that's what I'm doing. I'm dismissing them so they're not clouding my vision. Okay, so when we talk about, and I get a lot of people, and they're like, well, I want, before I come for coaching, I want to know, can you really help me with anxiety? I've been dealing with anxiety 30 years, 40 years, 10 years, since I was 5, or since I was 10, since I was a teenager, all my 20s, all my 30s, all my 40s. Personally, I dealt with anxiety all my 10s, all my 15s, all my 20s, and all of my 30s before I knew to call it anxiety. I just thought there was something wrong with me. I've known it all my life that it was different. I was different from other people. I didn't know what to call it, didn't know what it was. It's something that I hid, and I just knew it was different. So I was almost out of my 30s before I realized that I had social anxiety. And I tell you, I was so relieved that I wasn't crazy. I really did think I was like, there's just going, someday it's going to pop and people are going to say, oh, I know what's wrong with you. You're crazy. And so I wasn't. And so, yeah, all my teens, my 20s, my 30s, I struggled with anxiety. And so the thing is this, can you actually get anxiety from this in your life to this in your life and manage it? Absolutely you can. I got my 3 or 4 more of those coming up. So absolutely you can. You have to be willing to put in the work though. There's not a pill that you can take, and I know that some people take anxiety medication, which I'm cool with. I don't beat up on people who take medication because you live with you every day and you live with your partner every day. You know what's best for you. There are some people who are like, I'm not taking medication ever in my life. Doesn't matter to me which one. But I will say that you can't take a pill and rewire your brain like you need to manage anxiety. Medication does help for certain things. It does help in certain ways. And then for other ways, it makes it difficult for you to do the task that you need to do to rewire your brain. So yes, you can get anxiety from this monster, like the monster size in your life, and you can take it down to a manageable chunk. Absolutely you can. You got to put in the work, and you got to be willing to work on it week in and week out. Okay? One of the best things that we found that you can do to assist you in managing your anxiety, and some of you, it's yes, you want to manage anxiety, but for some of you it is the symptoms that are really just taking you for a loop. It is the fear every day, or sometimes not even knowing where the fear just hits you. For others of you, it's the worry every single day. You worry about your kids, about your husband, about your mom, about your dad, about your sister, about your brother, about yourself. You just worry about your dog, your cat, your goldfish. Anything that can be worried about, you can find a reason to worry about it. And that interrupts your life. For other people, and I know for me, anxiety made me physically ill. I will get diarrhea, I get nauseous, I get stomach cramps, and that's how it affected me. I had very, very few friends, and the friends I had was on a superficial level because I was afraid to open up. I mean, I had this secret I was hiding. I didn't want people to know that there was something wrong with me. That's how I felt before I realized how I have social anxiety. And obviously, I really don't care now who knows I have social anxiety. It's not a big thing. I feel that the more people that I can tell, that I can say to, that yes, I struggle with anxiety, it will help. It will open doors to help other people to say, yes, I struggle with anxiety, but you can get help to deal with that. Okay. So one of the things that we know of a surety that you can do or work on to help your anxiety, to manage your anxiety, is to build your resilience. A lot of research out there surrounding resilience. And yes, you can build resilience, and there are a number of things that you can do that go into it. Works on 6 different parts of your life that you can work on and build your resilience, which helps you to deal with anxiety. You're like, well, what do you mean? Your resilience is your ability to deal with adversity and come back. A lot of people hear this bounce back, you can bounce back. Um, what I do with my clients is we work on building up resilience before you hit the adversity. So if you're already having the adversity because you have the anxiety, we can still work with that, and I start where you are. Okay. But yes, we come in, and like I said, you gotta be willing to do the work, because it's every week. It is work you're going through, and you're working on it, and you're working on it. And so my program is a 6 month long program where every week you're working on a facet of it. What I do is I have assessment. It takes all of 3 minutes to do. And I think my Facebook keeps blinking down here. I'm looking down at my Facebook and it's blinking. Hopefully everybody on Facebook can still see. So my program, where I help you to manage your anxiety and build your resilience, it's a 6 month long program. And so saying it's 6 months, but it's also, yeah, it's kind of long, but it takes each domain and it covers it individually. So the assessment is like 3 entire minutes. I've taken it, I promise you. It's 3 entire minutes, 16 questions. You answer questions in 3 minutes and you're done. And it will send me a 6 page long report. And it'll give, it'll talk about your three top challenges that you need to work on. It's going to give you a report of all 6 domains, but it's going to point out and say, hey, let's start working here first. We'll work on these first. And the other thing that I love about this program is it not only gives you where you need to build up, but it tells you whether you're going to increase, or it will indicate whether you may be looking in a backwards direction. And that's important. If it does tell you you're looking backwards, not to worry, because it's going to work with you. Every week we have a set of activities to do with you. And if you cover it, you put in the work week by week by week, every single week. We do a domain per month. Every single week you get your activities, you're working back and forth. You will build your resilience. And at the end of the six months, what I do is we administer the assessment again, and it shows you where you've grown. It actually pinpoint. It will tell you you were here and now you're here. It actually tells you where you grow. And the thing that I do love about it is, if you have one of those days where stuff has just hit the fan, yes, there are those days. We all have them. All you've got to do is jump on your phone and log in, and you will get the coaching to coach through that moment. If you've got a presentation coming up and you thought, oh, I thought I had it, but now the anxiety is creeped in, and oh my gosh, I got I've got this presentation in an hour, and I'm kind of freaking out. All you got to do is log on, and you will go through a sequence, and it will coach you back down to, yes, you can go do your presentation now and be successful at it. So it is so important to build that resilience and get it to where you can manage your anxiety. And we do it a domain at a time. It is activities a week at a time, and you can get there. And I am certainly living proof. If you had known me in high school or even known me, you would understand that I would never be talking in a public forum like this. Absolutely not. And the fact that this is being taped and people are going to come back and watch it, you couldn't have got me to do that in my teens, my 20s, and most of my 30s either. So I am a living testament that, yes, you can manage your anxiety. Has mine disappeared? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just last month, I had one where I walked into a food court and it just wham hit me out of nowhere. Wasn't expecting it. I can't tell you why it hit. Doesn't matter. What does matter was I was able to do my deep breathing from the diaphragm. I did that. I was able to put my strategies, implement my strategies, and back out of it and see myself calm down. My perception, look at my perception, get that perception change, and clue me into reality. I know my brain was like zooming thoughts, and those thoughts were causing anxiety, but I was able to actually see reality, because oftentimes when you're having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, you're not necessarily dealing with reality. You're dealing with what your thoughts are telling you are reality, but it's not really reality. And you say, I can't buy into that. Well, think about this. You've gone into a Best Buy or some electronic store or you've gone into a Walmart or a Kmart or what have you. You go to the electronic section and there are like all these different brands of TV. Because sometimes you can walk in and you may see like 15 or 20 different TVs on the wall. And some places that you walk into, they're showing the same show because they're trying to, kind of, the brands are kind of competing to say my picture's better than their picture. So you on 15, 20 different television, you will see the same show or same video being played. Do you see the same exact thing on those televisions? No, you don't. This one, the color is a little bit more vivid. This one's the color is a little blurry. On this one, it says the color is blue, but on that one, it says it's like deep purple. This one, the color looks orange, but on this one, it looks orange, red, or yellow. My point is this. All of those TVs are showing the same thing. What's the correct version? What's the correct reality? For that TV, for that show being shown across those 15 to 20 different television, what is the perfect one absolute reality? You don't know. You don't know. Because each one of them presents a picture, a version of reality. So when you're having a panic attack or you're having an anxiety attack, or your anxiety is like shoot these thoughts at you, you're going to do this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. You're getting one of those television shows. It may not be accurate. It may not be. When my panic attack hit, it told me that everybody in the food court was looking at me and I better leave now. So I started breathing because I was like, well, shoot, I'm hungry. I was like, well, you could just go back and eat some oatmeal. I was like, no, I had oatmeal for breakfast and I want oatmeal for lunch. And again, I'm talking back and forth like I'm not doing oatmeal for lunch. I'm hungry. I want to eat. And so it says, well, you can just go to the first restaurant and call it a day. I was like, no, I don't want what's at the first restaurant. I want what I want. And so my brain was sending thoughts. Everybody's looking at you. Your hair may be messed up. Your clothes may not be straight. There may be something wrong with you. You better go back to your desk. And so I started breathing because what my thoughts were saying to me was a version of reality. It wasn't the reality. It was a version of reality. Okay. So I tested it. I said, well, first of all, I'm going to breathe because I've done the deep breathing now for over 13 years, and that's just my go-to. So I started breathing. And so as it starts to get a little bit more control, it said, all these people looking at you. They're looking at you. Oh my God, it's hundreds of people and they're looking at you. So I started scanning around the room to see if everybody was indeed staring at me. Everybody wasn't staring at me. So these people were in line trying to get their food. They didn't care about me. They could have cared less. And at that point, I could say, I hear that you're saying this, but that's not reality. That's not reality. I'm looking at the room. It is not reality. And the few people I did make eye contact with that, were looking at me as I stood there because I was kind of frozen. They looked at me and they nodded their head high. And I was kind of like, okay, hi. Yeah. Anxiety attack here. Give me a moment. Bye. And so I was able to see that what my brain, the thoughts that were rolling through my brain wasn't actual reality. Okay. And so can you do that? Absolutely. You can do that. You can be taught to do that. Absolutely. 100%. It takes practice. You heard me say, I've been doing deep breathing now for over 13. I think I gotta bump it up. It'll be 14 years. Yes. 14 years this year. I've been doing deep breathing from the diaphragm. First time I heard it, I was like, psh, breathing, I breathe every day. Like if I didn't breathe, I'd be dead. Really? I played along. My job was paying for us, to be there with this licensed social worker and, do anxiety and stress relief because I was working for public service at the time. I was a health inspector and it could get pretty dicey. It's very stressful being a health inspector. So if you see your health inspector come in, be nice because it's a very, very difficult and stressful job. I played along with the lady when she said, you need to breathe. I was like, okay, I'll breathe with you. In about 3 minutes or so, I actually put myself to sleep with the deep breathing. She was playing a nice, comforting music, and I almost fell over out of my chair, and I had to, sit up straight. And thankfully, she had darkened the room, and I don't think anybody saw me almost fall over. And so it made her a believer out of me. If I could put myself to sleep in about 3 to 4 minutes from deep breathing, there may be something to the deep breathing. And so I've been doing it for 14 years now. Okay. So that is one of my go to strategies, not only for anxiety. I deal with a lot of functional pain. And sometimes when it hits out of nowhere, I may not know it's coming. It just hits me. It has a tendency sometimes to like double me over in pain, but I can't leave the situation I'm in. So I do use deep breathing for that as well, because I can start to hyperventilate because I'm in so much pain, and the brain, like, you just need to run, you need to fall over and ball up in a ball because we're in pain. And you can't do that at your job because it's probably just not a good look. So I do use the deep breathing for that. Okay. There are a lot of strategies out there that you can use to manage your anxiety. My programs are always built based on the individual sitting in front of me. So I don't do the exact same thing with everybody because everybody presents differently. Some people have anxiety and it is just wreaking havoc on their careers. Some people are new managers and anxiety is they're finding it difficult to be a manager. They can't perform. They're having issues performing, having anxiety attacks, wanting to call in sick, that type of thing. For other people, they're not applying for raises. They're not asking for raises. They're not applying for jobs. So anxiety kind of hits us differently. A lot of people that will come to me because now they realize the anxiety is their kids are picking up on it, and they don't want their kids to live the kind of life that they're living with anxiety. That's important, but I would say this: you don't need to live the kind of life that you're living with anxiety. You can manage it, and I'm telling you, it's just the absolute best thing. I don't go to bed every night now wondering what's wrong with me, and that just feels really good to me. I am in a job that I love. I love helping people. I never would have thought this would have been me because I found it so difficult to talk to people. I found it difficult to open up to people, to carry on conversations. People that knew me in my teens and whatnot, they can tell you I was a very awkward person. People told me I was tactless, and that really hurt my feelings because it wasn't that I was tactless. At least I didn't think so. I just found it difficult to communicate and converse and make friends with people. It was just very difficult for me. And I'm an introvert too. And so those of you know, often introverts and people with social anxiety will often be called stuck up, not a team player, tactless, ruthless, just all these things. And only thing is we're introverts and we have social anxiety and we have difficulty speaking to you. That's all it is. And so if that is you, and if you feel that is you, ladies, sorry guys, if I get enough guys that are interested, I will do a Facebook support group for the guys. You just got to hit me up, direct message me, and let me know, guys, if you're looking, you're ready for a Facebook support group as well, and I will do one for you. Right now, my Facebook support group is open up to the ladies. And so if you have found this Facebook Live to be of value, head on over, and I'll drop the link in the video. Head on over to my Facebook support group, Rising Above Anxiety. Click join group, and join the group, and you can come in. I do these Facebook Lives. I know I do them to the public, but I do Facebook Lives sometimes, oftentimes for my group as well, where we just kind of talk about things, and the ladies ask questions. It's a place to come to get support, to get help. I feel it's very important that you not isolate. I know that I did. Social anxiety, of course, makes you isolate because you can't make friends, or you make very few friends. But my support group is a really great place for you to come and get support, because there are other people there with social anxiety. There are other people there with generalized anxiety. Whatever kind of anxiety you have, you're going to find somebody in the group. Ask a question. We support each other. We answer the questions. We recommend books for you to read. We do posts. You just get a lot of support there. I do not allow people to beat up on people. I'll kick you out in a heartbeat, because when you struggle with anxiety, you're beat up enough before you get help with that. You really are. Why join a group and be beat up there? So no, I don't do that. It is a support group that helps. I don't believe in a lot of woe is me, I'm not gonna make it. we're about solving problems. What can we do? What next? What are you going to do? What are you going to try? How did that work? How do you get help? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? I'm always about moving forward and living in a better space, because when I look at my life now versus to where I was when it wasn't so great, I love it now. I never thought I'd be here, but it just feels good. And I think everybody gets that chance to say, my life just feels good. Okay. So thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate your time. You had a lot of motivational nuggets in there today. I just like to call them motivational nuggets, and whatever you choose. For those of you that catch this on a replay, be sure to drop a thumbs up in the column and just drop where you watch from, your country or your state or your city. I love to travel, and I'm always interested where people are popping in from. I know that in my Rising Above Anxiety Facebook support group, which is free, we are over 15 different countries now. So we're getting support out to people across literally the globe, which is a wonderful thing. Facebook, social media is a great thing to do that with. So thanks for watching, everybody, and enjoy your rest of your Friday night. Those of you who's already Saturday, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Take care.